bar's got that swing. Glasses clink, hear the ice cubes sing. Liquid lunch, pour it smooth, let it flow. Friends round the table where the good times grow. Raise a glass, let the worries slip away. Liquid lunch, we're living for today. There's Troy laughing with his gin and a grin, telling stories about where he's been. Boomer's got whiskey, he's loosening his tie, chasing dreams under a midday sky. The bartender knows us, he's mixing with flair. Every sip's a moment we're happy to share. Liquid lunch, pour it smooth, let it flow. Friends round the table where the good times grow. Raise a glass, let the worries slip away. Liquid lunch, we're living for today. The clock don't matter, we're lost in the vibe. Jazz in the air, feel the soul come alive. From martinis to bourbon, we're riding the wave. Stealing this hour, it's the freedom we crave. Sun's still shining, but we're in our zone. This bar's our shelter, our temporary home. One more round before the world calls us back. Savor the moment, keep the blues in the rack. We'll laugh and we'll toast till the afternoon fades. Memories made in these liquid escapades. Liquid lunch, pour it smooth, let it flow. Friends round the table where the good times grow. Raise a glass, let the worries slip away. Liquid lunch, we're living for today. So here's to the daylight, the drinks and the fun. Our liquid lunch, till the next one comes. With a wink and a smile, we'll be back real soon. Chasing that jazz under the high noon.
Salute. Welcome, welcome. Good afternoon. Hope you are having a wonderful day thus far. Hope you are about to enjoy a wonderful beverage, whatever that may be, adult or otherwise. Here's to you. Cheers. Let's say hi to the chat, starting with my lovely Netter of Netters Network. I love you too, my dear. There is a drink for you on the counter if you are so inclined. You were in a meeting, so I didn't want to disturb you earlier. Matanui. I love the fact that Matanui can make it. He usually can't. If he can make it to the later night shows, he usually can't hang out until the end. So hopefully, like many others, I hope this is true. A little midday, little less than an hour show. Maybe you could come hang out with me every now and again. Someone who I know I can count on to come and hang out with me all the time is Connie Cleary, the bird woman of YouTube. She's got a wonderful channel, Fluff Chick Productions, and she is an incredible, incredible blue wrench. She is an asset to any channel that she frequents. And I thank you, my regulars, for being here, and hopefully some more will start to usher in as the day goes by. Wondering where Mark Malnikoff is, because he sent me a couple articles today, a follow-up on the topic regarding model trains. He sent me a link to a video, a company that I don't know if they're still. Yeah, he said they're still around because he gets the couplings from this company. They're the only ones he buys, the couplings for the trains. And he said they've been in business for decades and decades, and the infrastructure they built their infrastructure here, so they stand to gain really, really well from people that are struggling because they decided to go cheap overseas. But yeah. So what I was hoping to talk about today was something that we obliquely talk about all the time because it's become so much a part of our lives, and that's technology and the tyranny that I feel that big tech kind of holds us under. Could I tie this into the conversation from earlier in the week about tariffs? Maybe. I don't know. I mean, I know that there's some stuff going on with chip manufacturers looking to move into the U.S. and NVIDIA investing in infrastructure here in the United States. So that is where things are going. I think that a lot of business is going to start moving back to the United States. Just saw that one of the largest car manufacturers is looking to open up manufacturing facilities here in the United States. I do remember that they had said that those jobs are gone forever. It's a pipe dream. They'll never come back. Oh, really? That was a fast change, fast turnaround. Don't know what to tell you about that, but here you go. But what I wanted to talk about wasn't necessarily overseas and here. It's just that we've seen the rise of monopolies, right? And you could almost think of the robber barons of the 20s and 30s, right? Carnegies and the Rockefellers and whatnot, and how we as a country realize that this is a problem. This is not a good thing. So, something of a free market is beneficial, but monopolies not so much. That's where the Clayton and Sherman Acts came from. This realization that when you own a monopoly, right, and then you use that monopoly to keep anyone else out of the business, that's a problem. You're manipulating the market. We like free trade. We like a free market. We don't like a manipulated market. That's why people are starting to look at Wall Street and go, wait a minute. How is it that we have rules for some parts of government and not other parts? That we have laws against insider trading, when something's going to happen with your company, so you start doing, you buy or you sell stock because you know what's about to happen. That's illegal. You can't do that if you have inside knowledge. But you know who can do that? Members of Congress. People are aware of it. People are looking at it. We'll see what happens with that. But the same is true when you corner the market on something. Now, there is a perception because of the Clayton and the Sherman Acts that it's illegal to have a monopoly, and if it's determined you have a monopoly, you will be broken up, and that's not true. It is legal to have a monopoly, and if you think about it logically, there's a reason for that, right? If you are the only game in town, it's not your fault. You are not obligated to break up your company so that there is artificial competition, right? If you're the only, maker of widgets, because no one else wants to make widgets, then have at it, right? What's illegal is if you are the only maker of widgets and you somehow leverage that to prevent anyone else from getting into the widget making business if they so choose. Like if there's a particular a particular raw material that's necessary to make your widgets, and you buy up all of it to prevent anyone else from being able to make those widgets. That's what happened, with the steel industry and the railroad industry. If you own the railroad industry and you own all the steel, no one else can lay down track, right? That's what's illegal, right? But it's not your fault if no one else wants to get in on the game, right? In a way, monopolies have a way of generating a desire for competition, right? And let's bring this back to big tech, right? YouTube is the only game in town. No, they're not actually. There are other places out there that are looking to get into the streaming game. I think the biggest one is Rumble, and we are also going out live under Rumble as well. You can follow me on Rumble. I'd prefer that you do. I really wish you would. I know that almost all of you, and I promote the YouTube channel more than the Rumble channel, specifically because YouTube is the biggest game in town. They pretty much, not literally, but figuratively are a monopoly. But I do want to grow the Rumble channel because I want to diversify, right? And things might be changing in the streaming world, and we're going to get into that in just a moment. But YouTube has an advantage that Rumble doesn't have, and in fact, Rumble filed a lawsuit because of it on those antitrust grounds. See, Google, which is the big monopoly in terms of search engines, right, also owns YouTube. And so Google has been using their monopoly to keep the other games out of the market. How do they do that? Well, you want to look up one of my videos, and you're like, Troy did a video about, he put out a video for Geeky Geezers on the theatrical release of the original Star Wars at some film festival. So you look it up, and Google shows you my YouTube video. Doesn't show you the Rumble video. It won't do that. That is an illegal manipulation based on the whole concept of, hey, we don't want you to go to Rumble. We want you to go to our subsidiary, YouTube. And that is what is illegal when it comes to antitrust. Real quick, want to say hi to Wilkie's Movies and Music. Welcome, my friend. Always good to see you. Salute. We are talking about big tech in general and antitrust, but more specifically how that relates to the streaming world and what I think is going to be happening going forward. So let me bring something up real quick. Let me add this to the screen. So this is from the DOJ.gov. It's not DOJ.gov. I think it's justice.gov or something like that. But it's the DOJ's official site, talking about this case from, this is dated April 17th, 2005. Department of Justice prevails in landmark antitrust case against Google. Today, the Antitrust Division of the Department of Justice prevailed in its second monopolization case against Google. In United States et al. Versus Google, the U.S. District Court for the Eastern District of Virginia held that Google violated antitrust law by monopolizing open web digital advertising market. This is basically what I was just describing to you a second ago. According to the court, Google harmed Google's publishing customers and competitive process, and ultimately customers of information on the open web. This is a landmark victory in the opening fight to stop Google from monopolizing the digital public square, said Attorney General Pam Bondi. This Department of Justice will continue taking bold legal action to protect the American people from encroachment on free speech and free markets by tech companies. The court ruling is clear. Google is a monopolist and has abused the monopoly power, said Assistant Attorney General Abigail Slater of the Justice Department's Antitrust Division. Google's unlawful dominance allows them to censor and even deplatform American voices, and at the same time, Google destroyed and hid information that exposed its illegal conduct. Today's opinion confirms Google's controlling hand over online advertising and increasing the internet itself. I am extraordinarily proud of the dedicated public servants whose tireless efforts led to today's decision. A little self-aggrandizing, but okay. Today's decision follows a 15-day trial in September 2024 in the U.S. District Court of the Eastern District of Virginia. In January of 2023, the Justice Department, along with attorneys general of several states and the Commonwealth of Virginia, filed a civil antitrust lawsuit against Google for monopolizing key digital advertising technologies referred to as ad tech stack that website publishers depend on to buy and sell ads that reach millions of customers. As alleged in the complaint, through a series of acquisitions and anti-competitive auction manipulation, Google subverted, there's that word again, subverted, competition for over 15 years. As a result of Google's anti-competitive and exclusionary conduct, its ad tech competitors were neutralized or eliminated. Now, this was very specific in regards to ads on Google, and to some degree that also applies to, as I was discussing before, the idea of a Google search that shows what they want you to see and not what other things want you to see. Right? We know it's not unbiased, that if you are looking for a video, they're going to point you to Yahoo, not to Rumble. And that is also a manipulation that would probably fall under this. And it certainly opens themselves to even more lawsuits from Rumble, from other sites that are out there. Now, I am not an expert in antitrust law. I am not an expert in law, period. I am certainly not an expert in technology. If anyone who's followed this channel for any length of time knows, I'm not a wizard when it comes to tech. But I do pay attention to these articles, and I pay attention to history. And history may not repeat, but it rhymes, as Mark Twain famously credited as saying. So what do I think is going to happen? Again, just a thought, just an opinion. This should not constitute anything like stock advice or anything like that. If you're taking stock advice from a sexy ass bald guy on the internet, that's not a smart way to handle your money. But it's your money. Do what you want with it. I think that in the coming year to couple of years, we're going to see Google have to start breaking up. And I do think they are going to divest YouTube. What does that mean? Well, it means that YouTube will no longer have the almost infinite pockets of Google backing them up, for one thing. So if they're going to want to continue to be profitable, they may have to rethink some of their business dampening practices and subversion of certain channels if they want to continue to prosper. Maybe stop with the ridiculous censorship and start saying, you know what, we're a platform, we're not a publisher, we are not responsible for what you say, so say whatever you want, and if anyone has a problem with it, they can take it up with you directly. That would be way, way better for everyone involved, including for YouTube. But it also means that Google opens themselves up to more civil lawsuits. You could see Rumble suing and going after them punitively, saying, "Look, This is how you enriched Yahoo by manipulating the market and manipulating your monopoly. You know, this is what we've lost. This is what you owe us. My hope is that as things equalize, that a greater revenue, greater foot traffic, greater ad revenue for platforms such as Rumble might cause them to expand, and maybe improve their tools. I struggle a lot with Rumble. Rumble is great as far as a degree of freedom over there, but their tools are not as good as Yahoo. I have the hardest time posting a video and getting it to hold on to the thumbnail. I put the description of the video, I upload the video, I add the thumbnail, I save it, I publish it, no thumbnail. I do it 2-3 times. I got to take it down, put it back up, take it down, put it back up. It drives me up the damn wall. It really, really does. Lester San Jose, the Skeptic Tank. VIP member. I super appreciate you, my friend. I really, really do. Allowing Google to grow as they did. Is that something are you referring to something I said or something from the article? I need a little bit more on that, Lester, before I can comment on that. Gorilla's Censored Thoughts. Salute, my friend. Getting to be a regular for Liquid Lunch. I appreciate it. Hapla! Something went wrong because they elected an American Pope, but he is from California. Oh, yeah. So just before I went live, I saw that the Sistine Chapel was putting out white smoke instead of black smoke, which made me think back to, it was after, I think, Pope Paul died, or Pope John Paul I. I can't remember which. And we're watching the black smoke live because I went to a Catholic grade school and they had the TV on and we were going through our lecture, but it was playing live, just focused on the black smoke. These days it would be like a live stream on the internet, but some news channel was carrying it for some reason. I think it was a Catholic local channel. And it started smoking white. So we stopped the class and we, went to see, and, they started talking about, okay, we're waiting to find out. We're sending someone to see if they can. And it turned out that someone had just put the wrong incense or whatever in as they were refilling. And it was a mistake. They hadn't chosen the new Pope yet. So it's like, oh, you can't count on that color of smoke. So yeah, after this, you guys can all go and find out who the new Pope is. Sounds like someone from California. That's a shame. Troy, I'll get back to you on that. I just saw the title of the video, End of Big Tech Tyranny. Oh yeah. And I was just, you can probably rewind and watch again on fast forward if you want to. I was talking about this case from back in April that settled the DOJ versus Google, finding them to be not only to be a monopoly, but to be manipulating their monopoly to prevent others into the space. It was specifically in terms of ad revenue and, searches and whatnot. Which means that this should be good for other search engines like, I don't know, DuckDuckGo, Bing, whatever. But moreover, I do think that going forward, it may mean the breakup of Google, and Google may have to sell off or spin off YouTube. Now, here's what that means for their competition, right? The other search engines, the other, and if my supposition about YouTube is true, the other streaming services, it's on them to start improving and clawing out market share for themselves, right? It's not Google's responsibility to help them. It's just you're not allowed to hinder them. So that means that, those companies need to start doing better, to borrow a phrase. Wait, fact check. Coworker corrected. He is from Chirac? He's from the Chicago area? I wonder if I know him. If you got a name, let me know, Gorilla Censored Thoughts. There was a Monsignor here. My mother used to call him Father Immaculate because he just was such a sharp guy, and he seemed to have such clean hands for whatever reason. But I know that they made him a bishop, and I don't know what happened to his career after that. So, Robert something that's not long ago. It's all over X. Okay, yeah, but obviously I'm streaming. I can't check that out right now myself. But that's interesting. That's interesting. And so this is something that we didn't have an option for. Even with 2 popes ago. Being able to go on the internet and look up their history and see, where they're from, and what their history is like, draw any inferences about the impact they'll have on the Catholic Church. I saw someone share something the other day, something about, come on with it already. What's taking so long? And Netter and I had just watched a history video. No, it wasn't. Well, I guess you could call it a history video. It was Max Miller's tasting history. He was making a dish that I don't remember what century the Vatican would have served this meal, and he was talking about past conclaves. First, he went into the etymology of where the word conclave comes from, but he also talked about how one of the conclaves took 2 years because they were deadlocked and they couldn't decide on who the new pope. 2 years. Here it's less than 2 months and people are all getting all bent out of shape. Anyway, so getting back to this, yeah, I have high hopes for what's going to be happening in the tech industry. We're going to, and the reason I decided I wanted to do this today is because we have an article coming up on Sunday on Geeky Geezers. It's going to be very similar, related to Apple, a lawsuit related to Apple and their unfair monopoly, and a civil suit that seems to be winding out. It was 3 years, over 1,000 days. Wow. Yeah. They that seems like a long time to be cloistered away. But part of the problem was you expect priests to be honest, and they're not always, and they were getting stuff smuggled in from the outside, and luxuries and whatnot, and they were like, oh, I'll just go on like this forever. It's wonderful. And until, someone decided, you know what, we need to buckle down. You're going to be locked in your room. You're only going to get your meals through a slot. You're basically in prison now. And by the way, you don't get paid for this time. So you'll start getting your paycheck, or I guess it wasn't a check back then, but however they got paid, until a decision is reached. And suddenly they buckled down and they decided, in one instance, they decided, well, if we can't decide between the choices that we have because, no one will break rank, we'll just vote for somebody that nobody wants. And everyone could agree on that. So they had a really crummy pope that nobody liked for a while. Yeah, there you go. And that's pure democracy at work for you there. That's what happens. But or is it a representative republic, since it's not every member of the church that gets to vote, only the bishops? I don't know. But I don't think anybody in the Catholic Church gets a choice. I mean, it's kind of an oligarchy, isn't it? The clergy decide who the clergy are going to be and who rises up the ranks of the clergy. It's not like the average member gets a vote or anything like that. Just, I don't know. Just, anyway. Yeah, I don't consider myself a Catholic anymore. I consider myself a recovering Catholic. I still flinch when someone hands me a ruler or a yardstick. Yep, I did go to Catholic school. You know, Sister Mary Butch. You know, she had a tattoo, born to raise Lazarus. Like her nuns. Grab you by the ear, the tuft of the hair. Well, I couldn't grab me by the tuft of the hair anymore, but grab you by the ear. Brutal. They were brutal. Catholic Church was, to the best of my knowledge, in grade schools, the last vestige of corporal punishment in school. Sorry, I was in a meeting all day. Just got out. Love you. Okay. Well, if you're interested in the article of the topic, you can always back up and rewind, watch from the beginning. But yeah, so we'll be talking more about Apple. I'm just talking about Google and YouTube right now. But in so doing, I am going to say that the reason monopolies tend to persist is things like name recognition and an unwillingness to take maybe a lesser service in the hopes that by supporting a smaller up and coming company, they will improve over time. I've been saying this for a long time about Rumble. If you are sick and tired of YouTube, maybe you should start a Rumble channel and struggle through whatever you have to struggle through to help build the content over there. And here's another example of exactly this thing that they've been sued for. There used to be the ability to automatically back up your YouTube streams and videos to Rumble. Like literally just hit the button and it would go and transfer all of your videos over there. And Google shut that off. And so now you have to do it manually for each and every individual video, which is a pain. It takes a long time for almost no returns because, you know, you have far less people over there on Rumble. Still, I say it's worth it because it's your backup. If anything happens to this channel, it will all still be there on Rumble for me, you know? And, you know, yeah, I mean, like I said, there are shortcomings. If I'm in StreamYard or I'm in EVMux or some other platform, I can just plug in my YouTube channel. I can plug in X. I can plug in other platforms and simulcast. If I want to stream to Rumble, there's a whole bunch of other steps in between. I have to go out and separately make up the stream on Rumble, then get the link from there, links, plural, plug them into the platform, then I have it linked up. But again, I'm willing to go through that because I do believe it's worth it. And I do believe that in the future, Rumble will improve. These platforms will improve to accommodate Rumble more going forward. And I have to diversify my potential revenue stream, because if I don't, I can't keep doing this. I really honestly can't. I'm not just blowing smoke when I'm showing my gratitude for you guys for your super chats, your memberships, your eyes and your likes and your shares. It's impossible. It's impossible to do this without you guys. If I was some sort of a late night TV host, well, you have automatic built-in network support with commercials and whatnot throughout the week. There is no marketing for our individual channels. The best we could do is our own. So instead of making content, I gotta make promotional videos to put out on the streaming services and on the social media to get word out about my shows, starting to put those at the end of my closing credits too, like the equivalent of my own version of a commercial for my own streams, because nothing else I can do. But like everything else, I'm gonna depend on the word of mouth, you guys sharing those videos out and saying, hey, there's this channel that I really enjoy. And not just me. I'm saying it because I'm me, and I'm gonna, share from my own perspective. But if there's any channels on YouTube or Rumble or any of the others that you enjoy, support them however you can. It's really up to you. At the risk of sounding like a PBS pledge drive, there is no other revenue. So I mean, in theory, there's ad revenue, but again, YouTube gets 99.9% of it, and we get like 1% of it, little tiny bit. For every video that you watch, I may get, and this is not an exaggeration, 2-3 cents from ads. Yeah. I make, what I actually make on a video is what you guys drop in the tip jar, so to speak, and even that, 2/3 of it is mine, and the other third goes to YouTube. It's a racket. It's a monopoly. But I do believe that is turning around. I do believe that we've turned a corner. We also have not only an administration that is looking to break up big tech because they have been on the losing end of the manipulation of free speech on these platforms, but I think most representatives in Congress are starting to see that as well. It's not just going to be from the Department of Justice. It's going to be from new laws or the revision of laws, I think, from Congress. And this isn't just a right-left thing. I think both sides are starting to see this and realize this is a huge, huge problem. And why? It's because the citizens are realizing this too. You don't realize how much power you have. I mentioned this the other day when I was talking about tariffs. You have the ability to send a message to these companies. No, your cheap products put together by slave labor and indentured servitude and child labor, circumventing our labor laws here in this country. I will not support that, and I will not support you. And if you go out of business, that's your problem. I choose to spend maybe a little bit more to buy my luxury item made here in the United States. And you have that same ability when it comes to what you watch on your streaming services, who you support, how you support them. We tend to talk about the algorithm and how you like and share and how that makes a difference. But honestly, if YouTube doesn't like what I'm saying, all the likes and shares in the world aren't going to help. They just shadow ban you. But if you keep coming and if you keep dropping a tip for me, nothing YouTube can really do about that other than deplatform me. And then I'll just go to Rumble and you guys can follow me there. We really do have the power. The greatest lie that the devil ever told was that you can't win, you can't succeed. And the greatest lie that the system ever said is that you can't fight the system. And it's a lie. You absolutely can. You absolutely can. I'm not going to get into election stuff. That would definitely get this channel taken down. But, there was an election and nasty things happened and people took action and the pendulum swung. This whole country was founded on a bunch of lawyers and farmers deciding to fight back against the biggest army and navy in the world at the time, and succeeding. And there's a lot of countries around the world that have thrown off their oppressors. And one person on his own probably can't do a whole lot, but if he works together with a lot of other single people, you can move mountains. You absolutely can move mountains. How were the pyramids made? We may not know the exact details, but we know it took a lot of people. A lot of people. You want to see something impressive in nature? Google up termite mounds. These things could be many stories high. And they're made by termites. They're the size of ants. They're little bitty tiny insects. But they're all working together. It's really impressive. And when the power brokers want to keep their power, they divide us as much as they can. Think about it. Look at the world around you right now. You even hear people saying we are more divided than we ever have been. It's because we allow it to happen. We allow it to happen. We're so quick to say those people, them, they, us, we, ours, mine, right? Instead of saying, well, wait a minute. What do we have in common? What binds us together, right? You're politically left, I'm politically right. But are there not things that we agree on? In fact, there was a time when most people believed that, yeah, left and right, we disagree. We agree on where we want to be, but not how to get there. Let's start focusing on the things that we agree on, and then when we do that, we can find ways to work together. So there's a reason that I don't put a link to my Rumble channel on any of my videos. I would like to, but I'm very concerned about what YouTube would do to my videos if I did that. So I just ask you to go look up Last Call on Rumble and subscribe to it. You're going to, by and large, see a lot of the same content. I'm just using it as a backup. But every now and again, there will be a video over there that you can't find over here. That's either because it went up over here and had to come down, or I didn't even bother to put it up here because I knew it wouldn't last. It couldn't. It would piss off the YouTube gods. Tonight, over on Netters Network, we will be talking with channel member and regular around here, Curtis Selby, who is starting a new YouTube channel. Why is he starting a new YouTube channel? Because he can't get his previous channel monetized. It has been more than shadow banned. It has been literally shadow excommunicated. He can post there, but he can't get it monetized, even though he meets all the criteria. YouTube will not allow it because they specifically said because of his content. His content doesn't meet with their approval. That's them exercising their monopoly again. So, yes, thank you very much. The new channel is called Nothing to See Here Citizen. I've even got a little ad blurb for it when we close out this stream. But let's support him. And one of the things I'll talk to him about tonight is making sure that he has a matching channel over on Rumble. Got to do it. Got to do it. And build the two together. That was a mistake I made. I built my YouTube channel and then I started to build my Rumble channel. And now I'm playing catch up on Rumble. Best thing you could do is build both of them at the same time. But I think the tides are turning, my friends. And why are the tides turning? Because public opinion is turning against these monopolistic companies. You know, the slogan, the mocking slogan for the past 8 years or so, Orange Man bad, Orange Man bad. If Orange Man says something, it's absolutely got to be a lie, even though the guy before him said it as well, and the guy before him. We suddenly give up on logic because we are so focused on the ad hominem, right? But we can't deny that there's a lot of things that the current administration is doing that everyone kind of agrees with, and it's begrudging. I just saw today, I think it was WDW Pro was talking about how Gavin Newsom in California is looking to work with the administration in order to help California and Hollywood. Shocker. I was saying the other day how the Teamsters and SAG and AFRA were all behind this idea of Trump's foreign tariffs on entertainment. And now Gavin is saying, hey, can you help us out? We'll tax incentives, blah, 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 this and that. Because so many people in Hollywood are leaving California. The industry is leaving California. And when industry leaves a state, so does the tax revenue. And the state will go bankrupt. So, and this directly affects everyone in that state. So, yeah. Oh, there you are, my friend. I've been talking about you. F Illinois, the politicians, and the tollway. Yeah. Elinistan is a microcosm. It's like New York. It's like California. But I have a lot of hope, a lot more than I did 2 years ago. Things are definitely on an upswing. And darn it, sorry, it's not an easy path. Prices might go up in the short term, and you might not be able to find some of your luxury products in the short term. Wah, too bad. Hitch up your trousers, roll up your sleeves, and be a part of the solution instead of sitting around bitching and moaning, right? Anyway, that's a little bit of a soapbox again. We're 4 days in, and this is my fourth show, and I feel like it's been a good week. I've really enjoyed hanging out with you guys. It's kind of got a calming effect, right? You have a drink in the middle of the day, chat with your friends. It's like last call on Friday is like you've just crawled out of the desert and you've just gotten to an oasis and you stick your head in the spring and you just start gulping in the water because you're dying. That's what Friday is like. I feel like liquid lunch is a little bit more like, taking a drive through the sand dunes with a sunblocker over you and a drink in your hand. It's a much better way to keep yourself refreshed, I feel. But Mark says, I'm resourceful. I will always find what's needed, luxury or not. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. You can't get that tchotchke from overseas. Screw it. Make it yourself or find someone here who's making it. I was complaining about the Hasbro exclusive that I can't get, right? But then I pointed out that these figures are figures that already exist. If I wanted to, I could just take figures I actually already have and repaint them. I could produce that cardboard backdrop myself, or there's an Etsy seller called Cardboard Galaxy. I'll bet he's got a version of it, and I can probably get it from him. I don't need Hasbro for that luxury item. The new Pope's name is Robert Francis from Chirac. Let's hope he doesn't pick Peter of Rome. Yeah, I've heard about that whole prophecy thing and whatnot. Robert Francis. I'm betting that's not his full name. I'm going to have to look into this guy. Sounds like a very familiar name. Because I don't think Francis is his last name. I think that's his baptismal name, and Robert is his first name. Like I'm Troy Richard, if I'm going by the Catholic. That completely leaves off the last name, but I don't get it. I need a bit more to go on, Matanui. To what are you referring? Something I said? Something someone else said? Is this the first American Pope? It may be. I think they've all been Italian up until we had a Polish Pope. And then we had whatever the German guy is or whatever. But yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, it is. It is. There's this prophecy about the popes that, well, maybe prophecy is overstating it, but there has become a general urban, I don't want to call it an urban myth, but an urban legend that the last pope before Armageddon or whatever would be named Pope Peter. He would choose the name Pope Peter. And it also has to do with the portraits in the basilica. They're at the spot where there's no room, or there's only room for one more or whatever. So they, it all comes down to the same thing as the Mayan calendar and stuff. It's like people ascribe meaning to things that weren't specifically meant to hold those meanings. When a new pope picks Peter of Rome, then it's the beginning of the end. That's the legend or prophecy or whatever in the history of the church. Yeah. So this is the first American pope. I'm not sure that's a good thing. I am not sure that that's a good thing. But I'm not going to get into the Catholic thing because we're covering Catholic. But anyway, guys, I want to thank you guys so much for hanging out with me for lunch again today. Tomorrow is going to be a bit of a focus to get us ready for Friday night, because Friday night we're having our special James Bond stream. So I'm going to be talking martinis, specifically the Vesper Martini. I've talked about it before, but I'll get in a little bit more into it in the stream, and I'll actually mix my drink for, it'll be about 4 hours in advance of my show, so maybe a early primer before my stream, but you'll know what I'll be sipping on tomorrow night. But anyway, I want to thank you guys all for having lunch with me. Gotta have something solid, right? And you guys are wonderful. I love hanging out with you, and that's why I do this. So I thank you guys all so much. You guys take care. Salute, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.
Goodbye. Hope to see you again real soon.
Here's to the daylight, the drinks and the fun, our liquid lunch till the next one comes. With a wink and a smile, we'll be back real soon, chasing that jazz under the high noon.
Network, and it's all for you.